Hey everyone, and happy December. We are at the end of 2023, and it's pretty wild to me how fast this year went. And I mean, that's something that a lot of people talk about, but this year felt exceptionally fast. But I could always chalk that up to the astrology and this being a Uranian ruled year as well as next year. Now, when I say astrology, I don't consider myself necessarily an astrologer. I am self taught, but I do pick up on energy and I do pick up on the consciousness of the planets. And that is one thing that did come through last year, is that this year and next year are going to be Uranian ruled. So they will feel exceptionally fast. A little and pretty bumpy, and I'm pretty sure you can all kind of look back at the year and see how much of a roller coaster this year was. So this is the energy forecast for December 2023. Just looking at what's ahead of us, but also what might we be experiencing, maybe mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, and just looking at tools and ideas that can assist you moving forward. So I'm not sure if you are all experiencing how much of a rocky year this has been. I know it has been for myself. Having a human experience here and not just being, a medium, a psychic, and whatnot. 2023 has been a really challenging year for myself. And I know from even my clients, they're just, exhausted. And so currently, I am inside of Nexus Occult Books and Oddities, and this has become one of the homes I have created for myself in a sense. And I know that sounds off, but Andrew has created Nexus, and we also have Four of Wands here in Tucson. But what I mean by I have created a space there for myself is that I move around a lot because that's what this year feels like. There's a lot of moving parts to it, and I've had to find little nooks throughout town to help me feel safe, help me feel secure in my process and also in my practice. And so it wouldn't surprise me to get feedback from you all that are watching this that have gone through something similar, where they're feeling like they're not at home within themselves, and they're not at home even externally, just moving around in their everyday life. Something feels off. And so that is one thing that I can share with you right now, is that December 1st hit me kind of like a wave. And for those of you that have tuned in recently, I pretty much do the forecast like right on the day, for, my practice reasons, but also personal reasons. It just kind of happens that way, where my energy forecast happens on the day. So for those of you that are wondering, what to expect in December 2023, it's a feeling of, the best thing that I can get back is, November was kind of like a tree that had a tree that had dropped its acorns, and you were supposed to kind of like go back and pick out the food that had fallen so that you can go into hibernation. December, I see a lot of people journaling, or I see a lot of people doing self-reflection. I see even you viewers out there that they're going more inward, and a lot of that can be, in tune with the energy of hibernation, because winter solstice, all of that is about going more inward, recouping from the year. That's what hibernation is all about, and I'm over here kind of like in my my very soft jacket, and it makes me feel comfy and cozy. And I'm, you know that you experience that when it gets cold outside, where you have a hard time waking up. And yeah, it could be from the temperature, but I also think it's like a collective mindset where we're having a hard time with our circadian rhythm, where we're wanting to rest and recoup, because it's, throughout the year we're collecting ourselves. Like in November, we're prepping for this hibernation period, all parts of us throughout the year. And then come November, we're getting our harvest, right? And then comes December, where we can go inward. And so that's something that you want to look at in December, is staying at home more often. And for some of you, that might be a challenge. So if you can't stay home and reflect, if home is not a safe place for you, then go somewhere that is. So for instance, I come to Nexus, or I go to Four of Wands. Sometimes my safe place is my car, and I sit there and I meditate. I put it backwards, and I'm there. Sometimes it is at home. I have to go where the energy is pulling me, and that could be because human design. I'm learning about human design right now through my friend Tizo. He's educating me on the manifesting generators, projectors, and so it's really interesting to look at what he's educating me on, and then actually seeing how I'm existing. So if you are all interested in all of that, definitely look into human design. How are you working with your energy? How do these energy forecasts, whether you're watching other people or you're watching this video, how do they explain it? How do we explain it? And then how are you applying it to your life with how you function in reality? And what I'm seeing is a lot of people looking at a piece of paper right now and just writing down the year, writing down like what have they gone through. And some people do go through that just without even needing an energy forecast, without looking into things further, because they start prepping for what's the new year going to be. How am I going to want to better myself in the new year? Being a hypnotherapist for many years, that was one thing that come January, we knew it was going to be peak season because everybody was wanting to start their New Year's resolutions. So that is very much even in our own collective cycles and our own collective patterns, is that December is a time where most people start looking back over the year. How do they want to change things next year? But what they negate to really look at least for much of the population that I've worked with, is that they neglect even looking at what their patterns and cycles are. So many people want to they want to scapegoat, they want to escape from their own self, and they want to scapegoat other things and blame other external things that are happening to them, but they never want to take the responsibility and the accountability for what they contributed to, because it's hard to reflect and say, yeah, shit, I did that. Yeah, I made that choice. I used my free will choice to do that. And so because of that cause created this effect. And so it's hard to take that responsibility, but that's what December can do. If you watch yourself and your cycles and patterns throughout the year, you can look at the end of the year, kind of dissect what have my cycles been, and then how can I implement change into next year. And so again, as a former hypnotherapist, I would life coach individuals as, looking at what is realistic, going back to that SMART goal, right? So we're looking at something specific, something realistic, something, attainable, all of these other things. And I'm probably not even getting the acronym accurate, but regardless, this reading right now is kind of taking me back to that former practice, which I am flirting with bringing back my hypnotherapy practice into my spiritual path, but there's more to come with what I'm going to be bringing to people in person and also online. But regardless, you've got to start really looking at how you are contributing to your reality. And we can see that when we're looking at all the spiritual lessons that people post. I mean, I know that I watch that all the time, where people say, you create your reality based on how you think. But what people aren't, at least what I see, they're not educating people on how to look at that stuff, right? And so that's kind of what my practice is building into, is educating people on how to look at themselves, how to identify the patterns and the cycles, and really empowering people to make the thoughts and the ideas that they have to come to fruition, to come to the reality that they want it to be, at least to what the universe wants to co-create with us, right? So November is, I mean, not November, I keep saying that, but December is going to be an opportunity for you to really be with the past year and sit with that uncomfortable feeling, with any of the mistakes, any of the failures. I don't really like to call them failures, but anything that has given you an opportunity to do something different, maybe you can sit with that and just be with something that just doesn't feel right, but also I gotta feel this in my body to transmute this, to understand what my body is going through. So the mind can create stuff, but once it drops into the body, most of the time we want to go to vices to soothe that uncomfortable feeling. So we want to go to, like, the cliche thing of like the pint of ice cream, or drinking, drugs, sex, and alcohol, and rock and roll, all of that stuff. Like, we want to go to vices, and so many people don't realize that exercise can be a vice. It might be healthy, but when you overdo it, and so everything's in balance. And so that's what you want to look at, is that uncomfortable feeling. How can you sit with it? And so for some of you that are friends of mine that might even be watching this, they're going to laugh at that part, because that was one of the hardest things for me to do. And now I swear by it, because I sit in it. And I sit with the thoughts of, like, oh my God, what did I say that really upset that person? Or, oh my God, what did I do? I shouldn't have done that. And even just going through like my past thoughts, I sit with that uncomfortable feeling in the body, and then I work through it through breath work, through journaling, through so many different things that you can do to apply what you're learning, get the feelings out, and understand it. Then you understand more about yourself. And that's what the great work really is to know thyself, to know who you are, know how you function in this world, so that you can recognize, acknowledge, and love the unique you that you bring to this massive collective here. So anyways, so December is going to be a vital opportunity for you to really self-reflect, for you to start paying attention, or kind of like a culmination, and look at, okay, how can I improve, what can I do? Just jot it down. And I'm hoping that for those of you that are watching this, do pay attention to your cycles, do pay attention in some fashion. Again, like I said, there's going to be more to come from my practice to help you all out to kind of track this, because I feel like it's helped me exponentially, at least come into what I feel like is truly my passion and is truly my drive to help you all out. And I could tell you right now, there was a part of me that was fighting tooth and nail to get onto this, so that I was just not feeling it. Like, December 1st hit me like a ton of bricks. It was almost like a lump of coal just like sitting on my lap, and it was like, don't do this reading. And it was because I was fighting an energy of like, no, I want to stay cozy. I want to, be bundled up and all of that. And I can empathize with anybody that is really struggling to make change, wanting to follow through with something. Because once we can get into our head and we get into our feels about, just uncomfortable at something, it's hard to move forward. So I can completely empathize with you. And that's why I like to say, like, first and foremost, I'm human, but I'm also navigating this experience, and I might just be able to guide you and assist you through your process. So in any case, if anybody has questions that would like me to go into further detail, please comment. And, I would love to give you some further in-depth information about what you might be experiencing, or because I'm sure you're not the only one that's experiencing this uncomfortable, or you might not even be experiencing even pleasant things, or you might not be the only one experiencing pleasant things, but somebody out there could use your comment that we can build a conversation on. So in any case, I hope you all have a wonderful, comforting season, winter season, and whether that comfort comes from your own creation or from having loved ones around you, however it may be for you, is exactly how it needs to be. My love to you all, and I wish you I wish you wellness. So take care. Bye.